believe that drawing a person's face is hard. Well, it kind of is, but with some guidance, it's actually pretty easy. Just going through the steps, when you focus on them, it's not that bad. So to start, what you're going to do is you're going to have a base. The base is going to look like a circle, with like a kind of curving V as the jaw. Okay, so before you actually start drawing, you just have to make sure that you know what you are drawing. But once that you have the base down, you can start with the guidelines. The guidelines is 1 vertical. That's going to roughly tell you where the lips and the nose is going to be. And then 1 horizontal. That's going to roughly tell you where the eyes should be. Secondly, you're going to have the secondary guidelines, which is 2 vertical lines, which is going to guide like exactly where the nose should be, like the nostrils and everything. And then the secondary horizontal line is going to be where the eyebrows / the top of the eye should be. Then you're going to have to focus on the positioning of the ears. The ears are roughly the shape of C's, just kind of pinched at the top. If your ears were pointed, depending on whatever you want to draw, they would be a little lower down, but for now let's just assume that it's a normal person. Then we're going to focus on Then we're going to focus on the shape of the eyes. The shape of the eyes is going to roughly be like a football, but a little bit rounder, kind of like a meatball. Then you have to focus on what shape you want the eyes to be, how big they are, if you want them to be kind of anime, or if you want them to be smaller, so more cartoonish, or more realistic, which would just be like medium. You have to make sure that you know which direction the pupils and the irises are going to be. And for those, then you draw little circles with dots. But for now, we're going to move on. Next, you're going to focus on the eyebrows. The eyebrows, the shape should be like an arch with a point at the end, just to show where it arches. You have to decide the emotion of your character. Eyebrows are very expressive, just like the mouth or the eyes. Next, after you draw the face, the eyes, the eyebrows, then you have to go to the nose. Because if your character doesn't have a nose, it's going to look like Voldemort. The nose needs a base, just like any other feature of the face. And the base is roughly going to be like the shape of a triangle. You have to make sure that the bottom or the base of the triangle is curved, because no one's nose is just flat. The nose must be in between the guidelines, the 2 vertical lines, as you'll see right here. You have to position the nose. You can shift it upwards or downwards, depending on whichever way you want it to be, but it has to be between the lines. Next. After drawing the nose, you can go back and do some detail, maybe erase some of the lines around the head, maybe make the jaw a little bit sharper. That's what I did here. And while you're still doing fine detail, you can start to put freckles into the empty space if you want the face to look more and more realistic, or you can put wrinkles under the eyes. Then what you also want to do is you want to put curves towards the inside of the face to define the cheeks, and those are roughly going to be at the bottom of the ear. Finally, what you want to do is add the last final huge feature of the face, which is the mouth. Without a mouth, it's just disturbing looking. The mouth can be extremely expressive, as shown in this image here that I got off of getdrawings.com. Really useful, expressing smiling, sadness, happiness, anger, all of the caboodle. When you're drawing the mouth, what you want to do is start with a dividing line. It has a little bit of an M stretched out, and that's where the top lip meets the bottom lip. And then depending on how big or how small you want the lips to be, you're going to put a slightly tighter M over, like the dividing line, and then a C kind of stretched out for the bottom one, or more like a U. Finally, what you want to do is you want to draw the hair, because if you don't have a character with hair on it, it looks kind of creepy. What you want to do is a very rough sketch of what you want the hair to look like, depending on if it's a man or a woman. The hair will probably be longer if it's a girl and probably shorter if it's a man. And then towards the final steps, more like this, you're going to draw where the hair overlaps the face and where it goes off to the side. Then, one of the most important steps is erase. all the guidelines. Because you can't see the shape of your head through your hair. Well, kind of, but not really. So then you erase. You want to erase all the guidelines here. You want to erase here. And then finally, you put a hairline down, because if not, it just looks like a blob of hair. And you start to define the strands of hair coming out of the hairline until finally you have a picture that looks like this. And you can decide to make them have a pose, or it can just be a face. And that is my presentation. I wanted to have this on the